Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Magnetdale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnetdale, and welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers.
That's us.
It's a podcast. There's two queer trans women. That's us, the wifey ones. We're talking about stuff what we done media-wise in the week.
Yeah, we done media stuff.
How are you doing?
I am here. How are you doing?
I am too full of food.
Oh no, too many waffle fries.
I was feeling sleepy, then woke up, had food, and I've had an amount of food that's made me go, ooh,
You had a little nap while I was preparing dinner, and then I filled you with food, and now I'm
preparing to
have
a little sleep during the podcast, probably. That'll be fine, right?
I don't think that's ideal, I'll be honest.
You don't think that would make for good audio?
I've heard you snore. No, I don't think it'll make for good audio.
Know what, mate?
Unless they wanted to find some new way of, torturing Marines to learn how to.
Oh, thank you.
I love you.
I was going to move us on to, what would be a good use of audio, us talking about things we played this week. But no, if you want to get in and insult at me, we can do that.
I don't want to insult you.
Oh, I'm torture for Marines.
Well, if they don't have earplugs.
What have you been playing?
I love you.
I love you.
I have been playing the 1.0 content for Abiotic Factor.
Ooh, I've also been playing Abiotic Factor, but not the 1.0 content.
You kind of have. We've got an enhancement machine.
Oh,
which is a new machine for 1.0.
Well, yeah, we're doing a little co-op playthrough in which we are mostly...
We're 12 hours in.
We're a ways away from... I feel like we've played more than 12 hours.
Oh, no, sorry. I was thinking of a different save. We're at 36 hours
in. We're 30 plus hours in. We're working through a co-op save, but you were at the end game, because you'd, finished everything in your solo playthrough.
Yes.
And we're waiting for 1.0.
Yes, I finished everything up to the end of Dark Energy, I think it was called, in April. And then the Cold Fusion update, the 1.0, happened on the 22nd of July.
How is the 1.0?
I can see why they say that it's a good idea to try and play from a save about where we are and go from there to get the most out of some of the stuff.
Okay.
The enhancement bench takes a lot of the materials that you're working with quite on, like weapons and armor, and gives you an ability to upgrade them periodically rather than just flat out replacing them. Which gives you a much nicer gradient for leveling up those basic items.
Yeah.
Because there are a few places that were very high difficulty spikes.
Yes.
In the game up to Dark Energy, and there were several places I really was just banging my head against a wall, trying to okay, I've respawned, I will kill, if I kill one enemy, and I go back in and I kill another enemy, then, it's all slowly chipping away.
So it's worth using an earlier-ish save from about where we're at, because it gives you time to get the most out of the new things, to ramp toward the end, rather than selecting a save that's right before the 1.0 content, and going, I'll make an enhancement machine. Cool, I don't really have time to benefit from that before I go in.
I did benefit from it. There's because I barely used guns throughout the game, mainly because a lot of the weapons need a sort of biomimetic lock wristbands.
Yeah.
And they don't give good armor. They don't fit with any other armor sets, so you're not getting armor set bonuses. So generally I just didn't bother using guns.
Yeah.
The biggest issue, I would say, with guns in general is running out of ammo.
Yes.
So what I tended to find happen was I would level up all the guns to their final phase, because I had enough resources to do that pretty quickly. And then go, right, I'm just going to take a shotgun out this time. I'm going to use all my shotgun ammo in 3 or 4 runs. And then I'm going to drop the shotgun off with the last couple of ammo, and maybe pick up the submachine gun and take all my 9mm ammo with me. And slowly I did work through pretty much all of my ammo in waves, and then occasionally I'd be okay, I'm going to just do a period where I don't take a quote unquote traditional gun with me. So I was having chances to build back up like ammo supplies, especially going through the Praetorium area, which is all new for 1.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really good time with it. You were there. You were watching me finishing the final boss. I would say the biggest problem I have with 1.0 is there is a platform propelled jump maze towards the final area, where the shopping district has sort of blown apart into multiple kind of floating islands connected via these jump pad type things that you walk into, and it's kind of like, okay, I've got to work out how I can get to the next area, how I can get to a place, and if I happen to reach a dead end that tells me I need an item, where do I then go to do the next bit to work out that I need to learn a recipe? Basically, there is an item that you need during that last phase, and the game is usually pretty good at going, here is where your next goal is. But for the whole final section, it's like, this is where you should be going. You should be getting or activating the Dark Lens. And it's like, that's cool and good, and I love you, thank you very much. But I do need to find this other thing, and there's nothing pointing me at that right now. Sorry, I'm having to wrangle the cat, who is very keen to nuzzle the microphone.
Never apologise for wrangling the cat.
I'm just explaining to the listeners.
She wants to be on the microphone.
I want to rock the microphone. Yeah. I've either way, I very much enjoyed it. I feel like Abiotic Factor does work best in at least 2-player. So I look forward to getting further through it with you as well.
Some of the fights have definitely seemed better balanced.
Absolutely.
We were fighting a big thing in a cold place the other day, and you were like, oh, this was way easier with the second person.
Oh, we fought the Yeti.
Yeah.
Yes, we fought the Yeti, and I basically avoided the Yeti on my first run through. And because it looks very much like it was modelled on a Tarrasque, and I was like, I've just worked all the way through this snowy ski resort area. I don't have enough ammo or health or anything left over to do this. But having done it in 2-player, we'd got and known where we were going.
Yes.
We were so much more prepared for, okay, where do we proceed to? And the other thing was, neither of us had proper cold armor with us. We were like, oh yeah, ideally what we need is this thing that comes from the cold area, and maybe we'll end up doing half of the cold area, going back to the office and building ourselves some nice warm clothes, and then going back in and finishing it. But we went in and we upgraded heater shields to level 2.
Yeah.
Using the enhancement bench.
Yeah.
And that was enough to keep us warm pretty much throughout the entire thing.
You say keep us warm. We spent most of the mission on the second to, the penultimate lowest and cold
occasionally
rating.
freezing to death.
Occasionally freezing and having to break out of it.
Yeah.
We eventually found warm hats.
We each
they
found
didn't
a hat,
help
yes.
much,
No.
but a little.
Yeah.
We were just we won't freeze at too inopportune a time, probably.
Indeed, and we did get to the end of it and had a success at killing the Yeti.
Yeah.
So, I don't think we can complain about how well we were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, Abiotic Factor 1.0. I have finally written a Steam review for it.
Ooh.
After nearly 200 hours in various saves. So, yes, absolutely can recommend it now that the 1.0 has happened. And, they said they want to add more stuff, but that is the conclusion of the main story.
Yeah.
Just as well, given how the story ends. What about you? What have you played?
Not a huge number of things that I can talk about this week. I have been playing around a little bit with Empty Epsilon.
Empty Epsilon?
Yeah, so
that's a very familiar font.
Yeah. The deal with this is we did Bridge Command a couple of weeks ago, that
it was
live
great.
interactive Star Trek-y thing. And a bunch of people were recommending, if you enjoy that, maybe try checking out Empty Epsilon. It's a free, very similar sounding starship bridge crew simulator that you can play with multiple people. And I booted it up, and it turns out this is
what Bridge Crew.
This is very familiar. This looks like Bridge Command. So Bridge Command is not 100% Empty Epsilon.
No.
It is a customized version of Empty Epsilon with custom quests coded in Lua, with another program layered on top of it.
To connect Empty Epsilon to the ships that you're on?
Yeah, but also to give it more customizability for, like, GMing tools. And also, like, some of the things that are, like, a single job in Empty Epsilon might be 2 jobs in Bridge Command.
Yeah.
Some of the jobs are, like, separated out or condensed together in different ways.
Yeah.
But Empty Epsilon is this completely free, basically, the computer end of what you were doing in Bridge Command. So you've got, like, your person managing the energy and the coolant, your person, managing, like, the navigation, the pilot, the weapons, all of those various things. Some of them a little condensed down together, some of them slightly different visually laid out, but basically the same mechanics. And it comes with 12, like, basic tutorial missions, 15, I think, story missions that are like an hour to 2 hours long each, 15 replayable missions that are, like, less plot-focused and more, here's some randomized elements, go do some gameplay together. But interestingly, it's got tools for larger or smaller player groups, to be able to, like, crew the ship on a smaller number of players if needed. You can, like, the default is, like, 4 to 6 players.
Makes sense.
And that's, condensed, like, both of the weapons rolls down into one, a lot of the navigation and helms rolls condensed down into one. But they also have one that goes as low as, like, 3 players.
Wow.
Or you can do what I was doing, which was you can give yourself, like, a set of tabs in the top right and just solo play the game. And just, okay, it's time to fly. I'll tab to the navigation and I'll, like, set myself flying.
And how manageable is that?
It's surprisingly manageable. The place where it gets most complicated is in combat, because you're in the midst of battle trying to tab between
maneuvering and shooting.
Yeah, maneuvering and back to shooting, then back to maneuvering and back to shooting.
Yeah.
And also back to tweaking the coolant and the energy and the shield.
Yes.
Like, in combat, you're very actively using 3 tabs at once.
Yeah.
And that's the place where, like, it's not impossible. On the mission I was doing, I got through 3 firefights successfully.
Oh, wow.
It was the 4th firefight where I eventually got blown out of the sky, and I was like, you know what, I think
That's
I
fair.
did admirably considering how many things I was juggling.
You promoted yourself to Admiral. Impressive.
But yeah, if nothing else, playing Empty Epsilon solo gave me a much better understanding of the other roles on the ship, in a way that, like, playing around with the training screen at Bridge Command and seeing what other people were doing gave me, like, a conceptual overview. Throwing myself in at the deep end and trying to do all of it gave me a better sense of, like, oh, I could probably go use any of the consoles in Bridge Command and I'd probably be fine. Which was nice. It was interesting to get a bit of a look at the thing that underpins Bridge Command.
Yeah.
But also, there is a lot of content in here that can be run basically GM-less.
Nice.
And I feel very confident, having played around with this, we could totally set this up with our little friend group.
Yeah.
Like, a four-person crew for us and the 2 friends we went to Bridge Command with.
And maybe that 5th person. We'll get them out one day.
Oh, we'll get them out one day. Actually, yeah, we could get them on as well. We'd maybe want a 6th device with us just to plug into the projector and have, like, the view screen projected up on the wall.
Nice.
But, like, 6 devices, 5 people or 4 people, we could totally run a Bridge Command ourselves and have a fun little at-home adventure.
Pipe.
So yeah, for a completely free program, I was very impressed.
Nice.
What about you? What have you been playing?
I have been playing a game called Teardown, which is about doing tiny crimes. Or quite large crimes, depending on how far through the game you are. It starts off being like, can you destroy a thing this house is in the way of our development. We'd really like to get rid of this house. It's unfortunately it's a listed building. We can't do anything about it. If you could just knock it down, that'd be great. Cool.
This is the voxel shooty one,
Yeah.
demolitions thing. Yes.
But like fairly quickly, you move from just destroy a building in the dead of night. No one needs to know anything about it. To okay, you have all the time in the world to prepare your setup, to plan things, and then once you trigger something that triggers an alarm, you have 60 seconds to do as much as you can, and then you've got to get out. So it might be, hey, someone's stolen all these paintings. Can you get at least four of them back, and return to, like, your escape vehicle before the time runs out? Be careful of, like, setting too much fire. So you've got a fire extinguisher with you can put stuff out. You could maybe, like, find that one of the paintings is on a barge or something, and then push the barge towards, like, your exit area, so you can just, like, get it on the way out. Things like that. Like, what can you do to manipulate stuff in such a way that you will have a much easier time at the end? Like, is the alarm system attached to a thing that you can move? In which case, move the thing that is alarmed and the thing that you're trying to destroy / steal and put it near your exit, and then you can just get it on the way out. It'll be cool. And it's interesting because it goes from feeling quite impossible in some ways to being incredibly manageable, and you get to feel very cool about how you do.
Yay! Yeah, it's a good looking game.
Yeah, I like how buildings and like brickwork goes from, if you try and hit it with a sledgehammer, it feels completely insurmountable. If you hit it with like a bulldozer, it just turns into butter. And that feels very satisfying in many ways. And as you like go on, complete more missions, you start to get more items, so you can have like regular bombs or pipe bombs or a shotgun that you can use to get through like brickwork and stuff. And it's good to have like lots of different little ways to get moving around through the level. Spray paint becomes your absolute best friend because you can like go like draw big arrows to where your next target is. If you're doing one of the missions where it's like you're just running through and trying to like destroy a number of things over quite a large area. Yeah, I have had a very good time with it for something that I thought was going to maybe be a bit one note, and the plot's kind of silly. It's largely two billionaires who hate each other, stealing shit from one another, and then just demanding it get stolen back again. It's like, I'm absolutely fine to break into this guy's house and steal cars. Okay, well, I'm absolutely fine to break into the marina and make sure that 4 of those cars are returned. Well, now I'm going to break into that guy's house again and steal a bunch of paintings. Cool, now I'm going to rescue those paintings from the marina. A lot of back and forth silly things. Watching, like, the security levels increase as you go along and going, they're still not going to stop me. It's a lot of fun. Apparently it's getting multiplayer soon, and I imagine it's going to be all sorts of chaotic. Ooh. Yeah, so it's Teardown. What else have you been playing?
I have completed the game and post-game of Donkey Kong Bonanza. And still slowly chipping away at its collectathonness.
Yeah?
Donkey Kong Bonanza is a very good, very enjoyable game that has this massive spike in quality at the end.
Right.
It ends on like a really good crescendo.
Okay.
And then has a surprisingly difficult, challenging, very well designed post game.
Okay.
It has way more of like a, yes, you've seen the credits roll, but here's an excuse to do collectathon stuff and to keep going incentive than I expected it to.
I mean, I feel like Odyssey also did quite a lot with, okay, you've seen the credits roll, there's still a whole, like, quote-unquote proper ending to see.
Yeah, this has that to a degree. There is a certain number of collectibles you will need to keep going in the post-game, but also you will want a certain amount of bananas to have leveled up a certain number of skills,
Not the
there's, like-
speedrunners, they don't want a certain type
Well,
of
yeah.
development.
Well, I mean the 100% ones, probably, or
Yeah,
the
I
true
guess.
ending ones. But yeah, I really have enjoyed my first playthrough. And I've been very fascinated now that I've finished it, watching speedrunners go through this game collecting basically zero collectibles. Only
Strolling past bananas
only
like they don't matter.
only collecting 2 of the transformations and only using one of them.
Yes.
Well,
no, I think... Well, I mean, I've only seen a few of them.
To my understanding, currently they have to collect 2 transformations. They have to use one of them. One of them they never need to use.
Okay.
They just collect because a door won't open until you get the thing.
Yes.
But yeah, watching people work out how to completely break that game and subvert its expectations.
Yeah.
And the fact that the game if you get to the end having skipped a bunch of supposedly mandatory things, the game has a little thing in place to go, okay, we acknowledge
you
that
went
you
back
did
and
it.
Did the thing.
Yeah, you went back and did the thing off screen, but we recognise that that's a thing you could do. Yeah, it's a charming game.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you playing anything else?
Well, that's kind of it for me.
Well then, time for this.
Hello, welcome to Fantasy Sainsbury's. How can I help you today?
Hi, you seem to have made a bunch of, substitutions.
Yes, Fantasy Sainsbury's does reserve the right to make substitutions. You did have an option when you were placing your order via Scrytome to select no substitutions for particular items.
Well, yeah, but the default option was similar products. It would
yes,
be
we would
replace
certainly
the
send
thing
you something
similar.
similar, yes.
Well, I debate your definition of similar.
Right, okay, well, what's the problem then?
Okay, well, I was meant to get a potion of greater healing,
Yes, yeah.
and I appear to have gotten a sack of dirt.
I mean, if you were a plant, that could be quite healing. That could be, repotting.
I'm not a plant. This is
Well,
just
we
regular,
wouldn't
non-magical
know-
dirt.
We wouldn't necessarily know who that the potion was for.
I don't know. Do you get many plants drinking greater potions of healing?
Some gardeners are very interesting in the way they like to work.
Okay, well, I ordered mithril plate mail in a medium,
Yes.
and you gave me
A 3-meter roll of Baco foil.
yes.
Yes.
Do
Well,
you-
it's all silver and shiny. And you could wrap it around your body if you wanted to.
Yes, but if I got stabbed, it wouldn't really do much.
I mean, if you got stabbed with an enchanted blade, the armour probably wouldn't have done much either.
The armor would do more for a lot more things than the Bakelite. Okay, last one. I've got this scroll of wish.
Yes, you made a scroll of wish.
And instead what I received was a scroll
Of fish, yes.
of fish.
Yes, I mean, it's right there. And if you wish for fish, you have a fish wish.
What if I wanted to wish for anything other than fish?
We have a vast array of items available from our shop that you could order. Substitutions allowed. Terms and conditions apply.
Terms and conditions also apply to my blade.
Which was substituted for this Glade air freshener. Again, it sort of rhymes, so... my eyes! Hey, Laura.
Yes?
We've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you feel unimpressed with the general state of the world?
I mean, yeah, that's fair to say.
Do you sometimes run out of angry screaming and are left only with sort of grumpy utterances?
Sometimes, I go to a protest, I blow my voice out a bit. I've not got another angry scream in me, but I do have a...
Yeah, but what if there were more voices raised in grumpy utterances with you?
Oh, I could be not alone in the...
Indeed. This week's sponsor is Now That's What I Call QuietGrumbling.lol.net.
Ooh, tell me
It's a
more.
CD of grumbling sounds for when you're quietly unimpressed at the general state of things, but don't quite have the vocal to really anymore. thank you.
No, thank you.
Don't think it's
Oh, none of this.
It's a 16 CD set of grumbles, whether it be grumpy old man grumbles or grumbly youth. Yes, it is. No, it's not my bedtime. Or grumbly kittens. Sausage. And many, many more. So that's what I call quietgrumbling.lol.net. Enter the code Q&PS Grumble and get yourself 15% off shipping and the bonus. Now that's what I call a mild yelp after someone accidentally stepped on your toe. That's available too. Yeah. So, what have you put in your eyes or ears and or ears?
Should we start with the film we saw together this past week? We saw Fantastic Four First Steps.
We did.
I thought that was a rather good film.
I very much enjoyed it. Visually, I very much enjoy the retro-futurist sort of style of it.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. It's very much reminds me of like sci-fi of my youth.
It's one of the rare cases where I am a fan of the clean and sterile spaceship aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because it exists in a context that is so, like, trying to be space's the advanced frontier we're glossing off to.
Why, we've entirely got rid of dust. Dust never happens anymore.
Right, it's that sort of like, it's that very specific, it captures that utopia, scientific utopia idea, like a Star Trek, that I think you can get away with.
Galactus just turns up.
Yeah. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
I think it worked very well as an ensemble film that didn't feel the need to backstory too much the heroes becoming the heroes.
No, rather than doing the, hey, we're making a Fantastic Four film, we're going to have to do, like, the whole, like, the dawn of them.
Yeah.
It's covered in about 4 minutes at the start as a, here's our tribute to the Fantastic Four.
That story you all definitely know already. You all definitely
know that this happened before and that happened before. And I've seen previous versions of the Fantastic Four, and I was really glad to see that a comic accurate or close to comic accurate version of Ben looked really good.
Yes.
Like, the number of times they've tried to like change it or tried to do something different with it, and it just hasn't looked right, or it's looked really weird. And don't get me wrong, I can understand why people maybe were a little bit concerned about that shape, but I think it worked really, really well on screen. So just get over yourselves and let the original version happen.
Yeah, I think generally overall the visual effects were really good in this. It's been a while since there's been a MCU film that has felt this not rushed on the visual effects side.
Yeah.
And this...
Hopefully that bodes well for the people doing the VFX.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was done seemingly practical, and I appreciated that. I think the dynamics between the Fantastic Four themselves were very well done.
Yeah.
They created a group of people that I very much was willing to believe were like lifelong people in each other's lives that had these long-standing relationships. And I like that we got to see lots of, like, one-on-one scenes between most of the pairings that could exist across them. So, like, everyone got a scene with everyone else at some point.
I also liked that when Susan was pregnant, there was no immediate, well, you're not going into space, you're not going to be saving the day.
Yeah, like, there's a couple of places where it does
clearly
lean
precautions had been taken.
Yeah,
but...
they leaned in some places, but, like, it's not nearly as much of a... This female character becomes pregnant and that's her entire defining identity now, as a lot of stories I think would have done it.
Yes.
I think they do a great job of playing Reed Richards as very, very intellectual, but emotionally, he's not got the emotional intelligence necessarily for neurotypical life autistic person.
Yes.
He's got the real, like, I'm gonna say the technically correct thing. Oh, why is everyone mad at me?
I think about why are you all mad?
Yeah. There's a few points where someone will ask him a question, and it will be very much like, oh, well, I'll answer the question, because that's the thing that you do when you're asked a question.
Oh, you wanted something more tactful, shit.
Everyone else will be like, you shouldn't have fucking said that. It's like, well, it's a correct thing. I told you the thing.
Yeah, I answered your question. Stop booing me, you know I'm right.
But I also really liked the ways that multiple times Reed and Sue emotionally switched places and paralleled each other.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, like, one of you is having a strong emotion and maybe even being criticized for that strong emotion, and then the one who was criticizing you 5 minutes ago for that emotion now is having that emotion. And it's like, I'm not gonna I told you so, or like throw it back in your face. I'm just gonna give you the support I probably needed a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of those little nuances of how the family is portrayed.
Yeah.
Really neat.
I would be curious to see another one in this universe.
Yeah.
And, like, again, like, build more practical stuff. Maybe we age up the baby somewhat. I don't know Marvel lore enough to know what happens with the baby whose name escapes me entirely.
Franklin?
Oh, Franklin, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got it.
You did. Yeah, I think visually it's beautiful. I think they did a really good job, and yeah, I would watch another one of these. Although I'm not sure I care too much about Doctor Doom. He's always felt to me like kind of a nothing villain, and I'm sure people will absolutely come for me for that.
It depends on the stories. I think there are some interesting ones with him, and I'm curious to see what direction we're going to go. But yeah, what about you? What are you putting your eyes this week?
I watched the reboot, I guess, of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, how was this?
It was a continuation, I want to say, to a film I have never watched, and a sequel to a film that I have also never watched. So this is about a bunch of kids who go for a smoke and to watch the 4th of July fireworks up on a mountain road late one night, and one of them is kind of big dicking it in the middle of the road, and a car swerves around them and careens off the side of the cliff and down into the waters below, and they decide that rather than going to the police, one of them's going to get their dad to cover it up, and then they're just not going to go and give any statements about it, and basically pretend it never happened. And then next year, someone's going to get a note that says, I know what you did last summer. And then murders will happen. So I haven't seen the original, couldn't tell you much about it. I know that Sarah Michelle Gellar was in it, and Freddie Prinze Jr., because it was that period of time in Hollywood, when those two were together. And yeah, it's interestingly put together. It doesn't dwell too much on the gore, while still very much making itself known as, like, violence and terrible things are happening. And yeah, I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a passing of time. I am already struggling to remember large swathes of it. I had a good time. I didn't feel like I needed to have seen the previous film, even though, like, it did reference it several times, including cameos from multiple characters.
Those, even if you hadn't known they were in the original film, they show up in the kind of way where it's obvious they're a cameo sort of ones.
Well, in such a way that, like, somebody quite early on in the film goes, "This has all happened before, way back in '97." I'm like, fucking hell, was it really '97? Like, yeah, and like you can basically tell anyone who like talks about having known the thing that happened previously, and appears to be over 40, was definitely in the original film. Yeah, it's all right, I guess. It's a slasher.
Not a bad time, if a bit forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? You watched anything else?
I sure watched some animated films this past week.
You watched Rihanna as Smurfette.
Let's get the
I mean the Smurfs.
Let's get the Smurfs out the way first. That film's marketing is fucking baffling, having watched the film. With such choices as there being posters for Influencer Smurf, who is not a Smurf in the film. That's vanity, that they just decided to put an Instagram filter over in a trailer. It's like there's a lot of like very weird choices like that. It's not
Marketing, baby.
It's not a bad film. In places, it's got some fun comedic pacing.
Mm-hmm.
In places, it's got some fun action scenes, and I like the non-Gargamel antagonist that is present. I think is fun. But largely, I watched this film, and my main takeaway was, for a film that is incredibly heavily marketed around Rihanna is Smurfette in the Smurfs.
Rihanna's Smurfette.
It's a musical that gives James Corden more musical numbers than it gives Rihanna.
I forgot he was in there.
Yeah, James Corden, despite not really being marketed, is actually the main character.
I mean, isn't that how you trick people into watching James Corden?
Yeah, you promise them Rihanna and then you give them James Corden. I'm not going to tell you the exact numbers, but I'll tell you this. James Corden sure gets a musical number considerably before Rihanna does.
Even IRL Rihanna gets a song before.
There's like a song not being sung by Smurfette that's a Rihanna song. There's a point where they're in a human nightclub and a Rihanna song is playing.
And they don't even take the moment to...
wink and acknowledge, joke about it. No, it's just Rihanna playing in the club and Smurfette doesn't bat an eye. Before Rihanna, Smurfette gets one song in canon. It's not a good film. And I don't know why it feels the need to have its human world component. And I don't know why... Look, even as someone that doesn't enjoy James Corden and things, I felt bad for James Corden the amount that this film was...
don't feel bad for James Corden.
Well, look, I felt bad for James Corden's character because this film features many Smurfs who just have a name. Their name is not their defining characteristic.
Bob.
There's Ken, there's Ron, but then there's James Corden Smurf, no name. The no-name Smurf, because he doesn't have a thing, so he doesn't have a name. Can I have a name that's just like a name, that isn't defined by a thing? No, you have no defining thing. You do nothing. You're no name. No name.
Ron is at least extremely Ron about things.
It's weird, the level of aggression for, we refuse to let you have an identity.
Even Smurfs...
No identity for you.
Even the Smurfs hate James Corden.
Right.
And they love everyone.
There are moments I didn't have a bad time watching. It isn't a good film.
There were passing moments when I didn't hate this film.
There were moments where I enjoyed it, and moments where I was baffled, and moments where it just wasn't good. And it was a bit of a mess.
Yes.
But a better animated film I watched, not one that I've ever seen the first film of this franchise, but the second one was very good. The Bad Guys 2.
And did you feel that you needed to have seen The Bad Guys once?
Not really. I got the gist. They were a team that used to do big crimes, team of animals that did crimes, and then they decided not to do crimes anymore. There was, I guess, a hamster villain in the first one, and they sort of turned on him and caught him. Now they're trying to be good reformed citizens, but no one's given them a chance. They try and apply for jobs, and everyone's like, aren't you that very famous criminal? Yeah, but I'm good now.
That was this bank.
Oh, that was this bank. Yeah, that's one of my best memories in banks, yeah. But yes, no one gives them a chance at rehabilitation. Oh no, you served your time and you're not a criminal anymore, but you still can't get back into society. That's
so something about the carceral oppression.
That seems like a social commentary, that almost like a politics. It is a very fun, silly, goofy heist film. With a lot of comedic misunderstandings, a nice, memorable cast. The sort of antagonist group in the film is very fun. It's got an animation style that reminds me a lot of like
Mitchell's vs. the Machines.
Yeah, the Mitchell's vs. the Machines, Spider-Verse, K-pop Demon Hunters. That very exaggerated 3D that's like very stylized, solid lines around things to give it an almost 2D and 3D effect. Breaking the character models in interesting ways for effect and emphasis. it was a very fun film that made me go, I could go for watching the first one. I could track down the first one. The second one was a consistently very fun time.
Yeah.
What about you? What'd you put in your
That's
eyes
it for me.
or
You're going to
ears?
have to tell me about Raising a Glass.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I put in my eyes and or ears, one of which was, I went to see the Northern Boys play.
The Northern Boys.
The Northern
of
Boys.
This t-shirt fame.
Of this t-shirt fame. Three old Northern men from the UK singing songs about doing drugs and not being loved by their wives and supporting trans people.
And spaffing on your booblés.
Feel free to say no. Yeah, it was a fascinating gig to have gone to. Where to start? It was happening at the New Cross Inn, which is like a 300-person venue. Doors were at 6. The first hour and a half of that was just a DJ set that was like going back and forth between like aggressive niche heavy metal and like Dolly Parton. And
Yes.
like there was some attempt at mixing between these tracks. It sure was eclectic. The opening band of the evening was pretty good. They had a very fun, like they knew they were an opening act that no one was going to know, so they clearly put the work into
Was
winning
this
the
the one
crowd
that
over.
did a yo-yo trick?
Yeah, they did a yo-yo trick at one point. They had a song about Phil Mitchell from EastEnders, so they had like a little Phil Mitchell
A
on.
big bald man.
Yeah, they were wearing Phil Mitchell masks for a bit. They put the work in to get the crowd on board and like had clearly prepped some songs to be call and response enough to get the audience on board. The second act fucking baffled me. They're called Nail Breaker.
And they were doing a lot of distorted rapping.
Their laptop was on the table, and you could see that the waveform was just a fucking rectangle. It was blown out entirely, constantly peaking. It sounded like someone had blown a speaker, while the singer walked around in the crowd, getting people tied up in the mic wire, like, sort of mumbling over this, like, music that sounded very angry at me.
Yes.
The only thing that gave me confidence that this was an artist that, like, maybe I might agree with some of the sentiment of their music was they put a Palestinian flag up before they performed. I was like, that's good. I went through the stages of grief during that performance, from, like, confusion to fear as he was, like, striding around, like, trying to beckon people who did not want to be beckoned to join the crowd, to solidarity with my fellow attendees.
Yes.
It was terrifying, and it was a bonding experience for us all. But eventually, the Northern Boys come up on stage, and it feels like important context that this was happening on the same day as London Pride. A lot of people had clearly come a lot of trans people had come from Trans Pride in London straight to this Northern Boys concert. I'm pretty sure more people were in that room than had tickets. I think they probably broke capacity quite considerably. They definitely were correct capacity. I've never seen a room be so packed and so sweaty and so electrically energetic for a band on stage. Like, I was there for, like, My Chemical Romance's first UK show in 15 years. This felt more like, oh, fucking shit, they're here! The Northern Boys at one point did say, this isn't the largest crowd we've ever played to. Fucking hell, you're the loudest. There were inflatable penises bouncing around the stage. It was intense. I will say, this trio of old men, it's very clear that some of them struggle with live performance more than others, but they're giving it their all.
Yeah.
Patrick very clearly has a vocal track playing that he attempts to sing along with, but he's not going to keep up with, so occasionally it will just be the backing track for a second before he catches himself back up. One of them was in a knee brace on stage.
Oh my.
It's very clear these are very really a group of old men doing their little best, but they know how to work a crowd.
Hell yeah.
It's quite a thing to be in a room full of people, singing along with a song about praying that God will let you die soon. And then everyone having a good old raising a glass to the gays and the bis at the trans and the big bald men. Everyone points at Phil Mitchell on stage. One of the most fun concerts I've been to.
It's funny because you messaged me about 7 o'clock to talk about the second act, and we're like, yeah, this guy is very aggressive. I don't know why the music is angry with me. It reminds me of that song that was all alarms that we really struggled with at a different event.
Yeah.
Also, everyone here is either a young angry man who is very shouty, or a queer trans person who is very into MCR.
Yeah, it really was split down the fucking middle for a while. By the time the Northern Boys themselves came on, I would say, like, enough additional trans people had come in that it was, like, 75-25. It reminded me of being in the crowd for, Against Me, in terms of, like, weirdly like, fuck yeah, this is my people kind of trans crowd. It's the first time I've seen cis musicians play and felt that welcome in a crowd of trans people. So that was good. Did I put anything else in my eyes or ears?
I have to ask, did the Northern Boys attempt to buy any of the transgender men 2 pints?
I wasn't keeping, like, a tight watch on them. They may have done. Who can say?
Who can say if they got lucky?
Yeah, that was another one of those lines that, like, the room fucking exploded for. It felt the way that at those MCR shows, like, all of the trans people got very excited for the line in Mama about raising
a better son.
Yeah, exactly. There's certain lines where it's like, oh, this is the audience lines. They own this one. I did listen to another thing. There's a new My Chemical Romance song that exists, and I want to go down the rabbit hole of the context for this because it's a whole thing. MCR are currently touring North America, and on their first night playing in LA, they played a song called War Beneath the Rain. This is interesting because they said on stage, they actively acknowledge, this is a song from our scrapped album, The Paper Kingdom, that we were working on and never got released. This is particularly interesting because it confirms some things. About 3 years ago, there was a supposed track list of songs that got recorded in the studio for the Paper Kingdoms that are floating around out there somewhere in the world. At least one of them is out there now. A studio demo for a track called The Witch leaked about a year ago, which seemed to confirm that this leaked track list was real. People weren't 1,000% because people were like, this sounds like a real track. It doesn't sound like it's AI, but also AI music generation is getting better. This could be a fake generated thing. But that list of tracks, supposedly that was recorded and floating around out there, included a track called War Beneath the Rain. So the band being on stage going, here's a song from the Paper Kingdom we're going to play from that scrapped album called War Beneath the Rain, goes, shit, that list is real. Which means, theoretically, there's like 13 other songs that they wrote at some point in the past that they could just decide to play and could put out there. That they could just keep playing new songs during this tour. That'd be fucking interesting. But yeah, War Beneath the Rain, very interesting track in terms of like what is known about the Paper Kingdom as an album, being this album about like a parent support group dealing with using fiction to kind of deal with their feelings about their children having unfortunately died. War Beneath the Rain sure does feel like it falls into that realm of like it feels similar to something like Summertime off of the Danger Days album, in that it is this like somber and slow track about like the bombs are falling and there's not really anything we can do about it but acknowledge that this is the state of things. And the weird, almost peace that comes with there is devastation happening and I just have to put my hands up and go, I can't stress about finding a fix for this. It's a bit fucking late for that. I've just got to let it happen.
Yeah.
And not feeling stressed about the things that are very clearly beyond your control. It is... Yeah, it's a really interesting track. I would love to hear a studio version of it at some point. Second night in LA, Gerard said something that implied maybe they recorded a version of this in the studio, the same sessions when they did Foundations of Decay. At the very least, it sounds like they played it in the studio, that same set of sessions, so, hey, you wanna put a recording of that out? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Would be very happy about that.
It's adding to the list of songs where it's like, we have decent live recordings of now, but it would be great to get studio versions of. Sister to Sleep being one that they practiced for one of the final shows of their last tour. I'm like, go on, take these ones and make them be not just live only. Give us a little studio one of them.
Do it, you cowards.
So yeah, that happened.
It's what the Grand Immortal Dictator would want.
So that happened, and I have been obsessing over that for like a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything I've put in my eyes and ears.
Let us hope that over the course of this tour, like every other show, they release a new piece of music.
Right, just a little at a time.
And then just a new album, thanks very much.
Go on.
Go on. Well then, that's everything I've watched and listened to.
Well then, time for this.
Inside the boardroom of Supremacy Software.
Hi. So, you aware of this thing going on in the UK at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, they're barely a country, so I mean, it seems like they're asking a lot from us that I genuinely think maybe we just pull all of our games from the UK.
Well, they spend money there, and I do like money.
I do love money, yeah.
But yeah, they're doing this thing where, like, they're requiring people to, like, verify their ages for stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that, like, we don't have to comply with that, because we got an age rating on the box, so in theory, like, only people of a certain age can buy our games anyway.
Right.
But, like, what if we use this as a way to make money?
Go on.
I'm thinking we have it, so you boot up the game, you've bought the game, and the very first screen says, "Oh, sorry, people in the UK, you gotta verify your age for that government thing, before you can play our game."
Yeah.
The method we're using for that is you have to buy this age verification loot box.
Right.
It's I don't know, let's say $10.
Right.
And you open it. There is a 1 in 4 chance you get successfully age verified.
Right.
So you just gotta you gotta roll the number a couple of times.
Yeah.
You can buy the super edition where you get a 50% chance of getting age verified.
But
for like $30.
Are those the real numbers, or?
I mean, they're the numbers
the advertised numbers.
They're the advertised numbers.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Wing, nudge, nudge. And we tell them it's something like, oh, well, the credit card authorization for the microtransaction, that tells us your age, or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, but we don't necessarily verify them unless we've decided that they got enough tokens.
Well, if we verify them, that would mean, like, turning some people away, and we want them to buy stuff and play the game. So,
right.
Regardless of their actual age, it's just a dice roll whether we let them in or not.
Right. I mean, I love the idea of creating a multi-tier class of haves and have-nots.
Exactly.
You are a fucking genius.
I know.
Hey, do you wanna play rock paper scissors with me?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, ready? And 1, 2, 3, 3-star gold scissors.
Oh, I just got rock.
Now, normally a rock would beat scissors, but because I've got 3-star gold scissors, because I grinded them up and I threw away lots of different pairs of scissors that I had managed to get out of gachapods, I replaced them and upgraded them until I got the very best one, and now I have lots of gold dust as well. So I have managed to upgrade my rock, my paper, and my scissors so they all beat your plain crappy rock. Do you want another go? Rock, paper, scissors.
You know what I would rather? I'm going to take this rock, right?
Yes. Ah, my Snoot. Oh.
Rock beats Snoot.
Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Racial Justice Warriors.
Racial Justice Warriors?
Yeah.
All right, Larry. All right, Barry. How you doing?
Well, it's cooler.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
It's only 24.5 degrees. It has been way up in the 27s.
It's only a balmy summer's evening.
a summer's eve.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know which one Eve is, but yeah. You doing all right, mate?
Doing all right. Yeah. Having a bit of grumble at. You see what they're doing? Well, I was going to say you see what they're doing to the internet, but that could mean a couple of things at the moment.
Yeah, especially in the UK, where perhaps we can't see what's going on. We're not allowed anymore.
This is not even that. This is a different me grumbling about the internet getting carved away and shut away from people.
Yeah, this will be payment processors, will it?
Yeah. Starting with video games on Steam recently, and Itch happened as well after. And this is not the first time this has happened, but these video game stores going like, "Oh, we've been contacted by Visa and MasterCard and such." And they got shouted at by some right wingers,
some Australian turfs.
Some Australian turfs were like, "We don't like this disgusting sex content on the internet. Get rid of it." And the payment processor's going, "Okay, video game websites. Get rid of all the content.
Or we're removing your right to process payments."
Yes, and this started, in theory, quote-unquote, like the advertised thing was, they're getting rid of incest games.
Yes.
Which, might not be to everyone's tastes, but, people enjoy whatever they do in fictional settings or whatever.
Fictional settings. Fictional, everybody.
Yeah. But, it very quickly became clear that it was like, this is a lot broader in the content that it's taking down.
Yeah, because it took down almost everything related to LGBT stuff.
Well, this is it. A lot of LGBT content went down, particularly on itch.io. A lot of
Twitch took everything down, didn't they?
Anything
marked NSFW.
Itch took down anything marked NSFW, but also lots of things with LGBT tags. And also lots of things with other tags to do with minority identities.
And everything marked adult.
Yeah,
It turns out, eventually, if you keep screaming obscenity, you can say that what you find obscene is, queer people and trans people. That filth has to be banned.
Well, this is exactly the thing. We're seeing this with the UK's adult content thing as well. A lot of LGBT forums are being marked as adult content.
Yeah.
It's... if you police by age range who can access what information, and start policing based on subjective moral grounds what is adult topics to discuss, while having a bit of a vendetta against queer people, it's very easy to lump those two things in together.
Yeah.
That being said, a bit of almost positive that I've seen is apparently... a lot of video game enjoying people have been emailing Visa and MasterCard to complain about this, and have not been getting very far. So they looked at the strategies that those Australian turfs had been using, and theirs was to do phone calls and to basically just jam up the lines, the phone lines.
Yeah, apparently people were deliberately wasting Visa's time. And Visa reps have been told just to try and get everyone to send emails.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are doing the right thing and just going, no, I don't use email. Oh, no, I'm terribly confused by these things. I don't really use email. I'm just going to stay on this phone.
Reportedly, people who work at Visa and MasterCard are reporting to the press that, they are absolutely getting destroyed by this, and they are getting overwhelmed by it.
They need to keep it sustained, though.
Yes, this is it.
It mustn't just die down after a week.
Yes, it cannot just be a little burst of it. This has to be a sustained thing, because there needs to be some kind of pushback against companies whose only real role should be, I would like to purchase the thing. Okay, I'll take your money and put it over here.
To you, and you take money and give it to me.
Yeah, and I take a little cut because that's my job.
Yeah.
Should not be deciding what is acceptable material for people to consume.
Indeed.
If it's not breaking any laws, people should have relatively broad discretion to explore themes in media and topics in media that, maybe an Australian turf doesn't like trans people existing in a story.
It might be distasteful to you, but that doesn't make it morally wrong.
Exactly. Ugh.
That's young, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh. Good luck, mate. Good luck.
Good luck.
Right, I think I'll go and boot up Death Stranding photo mode for no reason.
No reason at all. I'm
No
going to go
reason at
boot
all.
up The Sims.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Laura,
Yes.
where do people find your things?
People can find the stuff I do at Laura K Buzz pretty much everywhere. Laura K Buzz on Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, Patreon. That's the one that pays the bills. As little as $1 a month over there really helps. Things that are going up at the moment. There will be a video about accessibility stuff in EA FC 26. That'll be up this week.
Not FIFA.
Not FIFA.
Yes, we're not allowed to say that.
Legally non-FIFA. So that'll be happening. Other stuff, just Laura K Buzz. You'll find all the stuff. What about you? Where are you at on the internet?
Patreon.com/StoneMonkeyRadio. For as little as $1 a month, you can help me keep doing all the things I do. I'm also on Humans Holler at News, a podcast for me's and for you's, where we talk about news articles we have found and try not to ADHD too hard, but all three of us are very, very ADHD and unmedicated. So if you like the sound of that chaos, do come say hi. That's it for me, Laura.
Yes.
Will you sing us out, please, darling?
Until next time, be a stranger.